Hello, friends. So I think this is my first reading vlog, which I've never done before. It's brand new since I've left BookTube. How do you vlog? Don't mind the growing zit on my lip. It's really gross. I just got home from work. I'm about to eat my dinner. Figured I would start my vlog for reading Ninth House, which I've been anticipating since I think everyone else heard about it. Not to be that bitch. The first time I heard about Ninth House was when Lee Bardugo was on the podcast called First Draft, which I highly recommend. Have started it. I'm literally barely into it. I'm on page 15, but it's been a couple days since I've read up to those 15 pages. It started different than I thought it would, but I'm only still in the first chapter, so I'm wondering if the chapters vary in timeline somehow. Probably already heard of Ninth House. People are comparing it to If We Were Villains and The Secret History, which are both super popular books here on the bookternets. But Ninth House is about, as far as I know, it's about a girl named Alex, and she goes to Yale. I don't think she's supposed to be going to Yale. So far in the book, we found out that she can see ghosts, which is interesting. And so she's invited to be in the Ninth House, which is the ninth secret society of Yale, which governs the rest of the secret societies, and there's like magic involved. I don't know for sure what her backstory is yet. As far as I know, I think in the synopsis it says, this is like so all over the place. I think in the synopsis it says that she like dropped out of high school. So I don't know, but today is October 12th and spookathon starts on the 14th. And so basically what I'm saying is I have 2 days to read this, or else it's gonna go into my spookathon, in which case I would like to finish most of it, if not all of it, by then. Long story short, I've started Ninth House for my first reading vlog. Looking forward to updating you. On chapter 4, and I was totally right about the chapters like going back and forth through time, which I'm really happy about, because the first chapter was confusing. It didn't really give you any information. It just kind of made you figure it out on your own. But these next chapters after it have explained a lot, which I'm very happy about, because the last thing I wanted was to be eternally confused. It's weird and creepy and I really like it. That's all my updates so far. Moses, you're kind of in the way, bubs. What are you doing? What a weird dog. You're in the way. Can't get through. You're in the way. Silly boy. Are you a good boy? Oh. feel like being an adult is just constantly forgetting to do your laundry and then having to do it like, what time is it? At 8 o'clock at night because you have nothing to wear to work tomorrow. So I am officially over 100 pages in to Ninth House. There's still a lot of book left to read, but I'm really enjoying it. I was a little bit worried because I had seen a few reviews that people were very underwhelmed by it. I think because it's such a hyped book of the year that it kind of got to people, and I was worried that would happen to me, but so far I like it. I like the characters, I like the plot. It's like magical and but also like scary and pretty gory actually. I would definitely have a trigger warning for like drug use, gore, blood, self-harm, sort of. For someone who doesn't like seeing gore, like I can't watch Hannibal, can't watch The Walking Dead, it's too gory. I am totally okay with books that are gory, which is kind of weird. It still makes me feel like a little bit nauseous, but I find it really interesting, I guess. Really don't think that I can finish this by the time spookathon starts. I don't know, we'll see. I really don't think I can get through another 350 pages in a day. I'm not that fast of a reader. I average at like probably a page a minute, depending on what book I'm reading, because the pace that I read at is like the pace that I would read aloud at. Like I don't really read that fast, which is why I tend to get through audiobooks a lot faster because I find I can listen to it a lot faster. I feel like not a lot of people are slow readers on BookTube, but here we are. So I'm about 220 pages in to Ninth House. I'm just getting ready for work. And I'm really liking it so far. I was very scared, as I feel like I mentioned before, about other people's reviews of it. But I think I'm really liking it. I've underlined a lot of parts. That's just because Leigh Bardugo has really great writing, honestly. I have a few theories about what might be going on for the stuff that like hasn't been quite revealed yet. One of the characters has gone missing as it's been going back and forth from like present day, which is winter, to last fall. Where he's there in last fall, but he's not there in like the present day winter parts. I think I have a theory of what might happen for him to go missing. There's been a couple of hints at it, but nothing has really been like actually confirmed at all. I don't know how I feel about him as a character. So far, he's just kind of shown as like, I don't know, kind of like a typical like mysterious, but like everyone likes him. He's like very charismatic. Like if he were a D&D character, he'd be like very charismatic and like gets his way all the time, like that kind of thing. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I feel like we've seen that from Leigh Bardugo before. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. It actually kind of feels like it's like something Rick Riordan would write, like if he wrote adult stuff. Definitely like the way that the narration goes, they go through like they go through like the 8 houses and they get their help from all the 8 houses and you're discovering what all of them do, the 9th house's role within the 8 houses and like their relationship with them. And I feel like we get that from like Rick Riordan's books, especially like the first Percy Jackson books, where like we like along the journey you like meet. It's very like formulaic in a way. I really like the main character. I think she's like super complex. It takes place in this setting that's a lot like where I went to university. Everyone is like about the architecture and everyone's kind of rich, and it's a lot like where I went to university. I'm really enjoying that. But then the main character, the way she fits in, because she has this like really traumatic past because she can see ghosts and they've harmed her in the past and she resorted to drugs. And I like that she's kind of in juxtaposition with the setting around her, and I'm really enjoying that. It's break time, so I'm going to try to not work and actually do some reading. I'm on page. Vlogging at work is weird. How do people do this? 222, so we'll see how far I get. I'm at the part where there's like flashbacks of Darlington and his grandfather. And on one hand, I find them really, like, the relationship between him and his grandfather really interesting, because it's kind of like, it's not a great relationship, but he loves his grandfather a lot. So I find that exploration really interesting. But I also am kind of bored with the flashbacks, and I wish they didn't exist. Well, I don't know. They're just okay. It is midnight, and I have to go vote in the morning with my family. We're gonna go vote all together. I am on page 268. So I think I can make it to page 300 before I fall asleep. And then I just have 150 pages left to read tomorrow. So I'm definitely going to read at least 150 pages for day one of spookathon, which I guess has already started in my time zone. I'm already behind, but let's not think about that. I'm going to say goodnight, read some pages, fall asleep. So then the next day is Canadian Thanksgiving, and my family started off our day like this. We voted.
Oh, that's not her.
We voted.
Hey. Oh, hey.
I proceeded to have about 100 pages left of Ninth House because I had stayed up too late the night before reading. And I got a lot of time-lapse footage of me reading that. So these are just the best bits. These are my overly dramatic reactions, which I do not pull off because there's a camera on me, but because I am a Scorpio with a Pisces moon sign, and I'm just that dramatic. So I finished Ninth House and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it yet. I think I kind of want to give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Like, I was entertained absolutely the entire time. The ending, I think, was a little messy. Like, I think there were too many things up in the air for it to not be messy. But I think I'm gonna like brush that off and just give it 5 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great read for October. There's ghosts, there's magic, there's rituals, there's secret societies, there's secrets. I feel like I didn't say everything I wanted to say about Ninth House. I wanted to mention, I think it also talks a lot about violence against women and the injustices that women face when it comes to like the justice system. And I think that's applicable to both the States and to Canada, especially like I'm about to read for Spookathon. I just find it interesting that Red River Girl is about a missing and murdered Indigenous woman and how that's so prevalent in Canada. And it just has me thinking, because like I voted today and it's pretty obvious who I voted for. I was kind of flipping between the Green Party and NDP. Ultimately, I went with NDP. I feel like I've been following them for quite some time and I've actually regretted not voting for them in the past. Yeah, I think that's why I mention how I am willing to forgive like the bit of messiness at the end for the enjoyment I had for the rest of the book, and how it made me uncomfortable. And it was like, I mentioned how it was a pretty triggering book, and I think it was sort of triggering for me as well. I try to follow a lot of people that like make me uncomfortable as like a white colonizer living in Canada. Long story short, I really liked that a big focal point of Ninth House was about university culture and the treatment of women in that kind of setting. I've talked about now the university. I went to Western University, and you know, like every university is kind of like that. And the school that I went to is known for like partying and street parties during homecoming and the vile things that some white straight guys put in their windows of their home during these street parties. And so the whole thing, like, I think I felt it in a certain way, especially now being out of university and thinking about when I was at university and how I miss it and my friends and I miss my professors, and I liked my program a lot. I did English and creative writing, but also the kind of culture that we instill in men and the way that they treat the women around them. So that's just one thing I thought. I was thinking about it eating my turkey dinner about something I wanted to mention about Ninth House and I forgot. As I mentioned before, definitely lots of trigger warnings for it. Pretty much any trigger warning that you can think of takes place in this book. So I would definitely be mindful before you get into it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And there is that annotated chapter in the back of this edition, but I can't read Leigh Bardugo's handwriting to save my life. So thank you for watching my first ever reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you liked this kind of video. If you didn't, let me know if you liked it. Hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I will see you next time.